Hi guys, in this module we are going to take a look at Akzentsetzung. This is a very important part of Aussprache and pronunciation, so be sure to understand this concept well. Now in the beginning we saw that the word accent has two meanings. The first is the heavy influence of our mother tongue that shows itself whenever we are trying to speak in a different tongue, and we should always try to get rid of that accent as much as is possible to reduce its influence, so that we might start sounding as the native speakers in the target language do. And that's what this course is designed to do. That's why it's called accent frei. But the second meaning of the word accent means the stress that we put upon individual parts of a word, which we saw are called syllables. Now, in a multisyllable word, not all syllables are pronounced equally. Some will be stressed more and the others will be stressed less. This is where most of the European languages, German included, differ from most of the Indian languages. In Indian languages, more or less all the syllables are pronounced equally. For example, my name is Abhiraj. As we have seen, it has three syllables: A, P, Raj. La, la, la. How should I pronounce my name? Should I say Abhiraj or Abhiraj, or is it Abhiraj? There is no inherent pronunciation that is correct. Depending upon the situation, you might sometimes stress one syllable more than the other. Not the case with German. All German words come with a preset rule of which part of the word should be stressed. And when you learn words, you must also know what these parts are. Thankfully, there are quite a few rules or tricks that help us identify where the stress is laid. One of them we are going to take a look at right away, and that's the difference between German words and international words. You might know already that in German there are a host of international words, some coming directly from English, some coming from the Latin-based languages, mostly French, and some from other languages like that. Whereas, of course, some words are going to be originally German, and the way we pronounce these words is different. What's the difference? In originally German words, the stress or the enunciation, as we also call it, is a little bit in the beginning, whereas in the international words, the stress or the intonation is a little bit towards the end. Now, before we take a look at actual examples of it, let's try to understand what we mean by this word stress. I have been using it, that you stress a part, stress a part. What does it mean? The stress that we lay upon a part of a word has two components. It can either be the loudness, as in whether we pronounce a particular syllable more or less loud, or it can mean the length. It means how long does that particular sound last. People who speak Hindi or Marathi or most of these Indian languages would know that in these languages we have these long and short sounds for E and U, na? E and U. But in German, as well as in many other European languages, this concept of short and long vowel sounds applies to all the vowel sounds, not just to E and to U. So stress means length of the sound as well as the loudness. Let's take a look at a few examples. Let's take a look at the German words first. I have selected a few to exemplify where the stress lies. The first among this is this word. It's a monosyllabic word, that's why it's going to be only one word stress, and we pronounced it as moaned. Repeat after me. Moaned. Now, the second word has two syllables. Montag. La la. How should we say it? Since it's a German word, the stress is in the beginning. So we must always say Montag. La la. Repeat after me. Montag. Or this one. Again, a two-syllable word. So the pronunciation would be Rätsel. La la. As you see, the first part is a little louder. Rätsel. The next would be Donau. That's the name of a river. It's a beautiful river, and the pronunciation is Donau. Somehow we tend to pronounce the second part of this word. I myself have done this mistake as a student. I would always call it Donau, but that's wrong. It should be Donau. A similar word that many students make a mistake with is the word Monat. Somehow instinctively we say Monat, in diesem Monat. No, it's not Monat, it is Monat. Lala. Few more. Tischler, which means carpenter. Once again, Tischler. Or this one, Arbeit. It is not Arbeit, it is Arbeit. Even in the verb, we should call it arbeiten. Or this one, last one, Löwe. Lala, which means lion. Once again, Löwe. Let's take a look at some international words that exist in German now. The first among this is this, Musik. Two things happen here. One is the U should be pronounced as U and not like the English U. You should not call it music, rather mu. And since it's an international word, the stress goes towards the end. So we say Musik, la la. Or this one, it's a beautiful word. It has two syllables. The German pronunciation would be parfum, but mostly we use the French pronunciation here, and that sounds parfum. It's beautiful, isn't it? It sounds as it smells. Once again, parfum, la la. Or this one, an animal again, elephant. You can immediately see that it's an international word, and so the stress is towards the end. Repeat after me, elephant. Next one is institute. Again, the tendency would be to call it institute as in English, but remember the U remains U. So pronounce it as institute. La la la. Repeat after me, institute. A profession, it will be pilot. La la. Or this one again, very common, we'll pronounce it as ingenieur. Once again, ingenieur. Many students make a mistake with this particular profession because of the j sound. It is not gay. It is not in gay. It is in j, right? Also, the last part is not neuer, rather it is newer. Like the English word new, and take the comparative form, like new, newer. That's what you use here. So you say ingenieur, la la la. The next one would be an international word. It's pronounced as international. La 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 la. There are quite a few syllables here. Let's see how many. International. 5. And of course, like, not just the last is stressed, but the main stress, the main sound that you'll hear would be a danal. International. Take your time and say it after me. International. And the very last one in this particular group, a common one, again we have a French pronunciation for this, and we say it as restaurant. Once again, restaurant. It will not be restaurant, rather restaurant. La la la. So keep that in mind when you are pronouncing individual words. After you know how the consonants and the vowels sound, the next thing that is important for us is where to put an accent. And if it's a German word, put that accent in the beginning. If it is an international word, put it at the end. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.